Hello, everybody. Welcome to one more rapid fire game. This time, Breakthrough to Lion-sur-Mer by Don McHugh. And the second one. I already showed you the terrain now. I'll show you the disposition of the figures from both sides. I first placed the British. They're coming from the sea, of course, from Sword on that direction over there. And they are forced to keep these two villages you can see here. This is the village of Plumetot and the village of Cresseron. I changed the buildings to my new Mario Arranger's fantastic buildings that he offered me. They represent, in fact, the city of Carentan, but they can also be adapted to, of course, other places like these two. So the British are trying to hold these two villages. They are mostly infantry with some armored support. There is a reinforcements coming. There is also SP artillery, and the Germans have numerical advantage. They also have one company of tanks that will come on round 3, as well as the British. But the infantry can, of course, enter immediately, and they are strongly supported. They are, of course, members of the 21st Panzer, and you will have plenty of armored infantry, as you can see here. Anti-tank guns, self-propelled anti-tank guns, anti-aircraft SP guns that can be used, of course, as anti-personnel weapons. The multi-mortar famous vehicles of the 21st Panzer also are here, and the Lorraine artillery with the 105 and 150 millimeter guns. So plenty of stuff to throw against the British. Also, there's another force coming here, an infantry battalion that is approaching also, with also some SP support with a battery of 150 millimeter guns. And now I'll show you what I'm thinking about this, and you may answer me and advise me on these things. For instance, I've noticed that the British disposition doesn't allow the British from the group that is in Plumetot to get to this edge, which will give, of course, some advantage to the Germans. If they reach this hedge, they can then pour fire, of course, upon the British from this side. So this is the place. So my idea is to advance as soon as possible. One infantry company and Sherman DD up to the crest, to this edge, in order to face the Germans that are coming from here. I think this is relatively logical. If you give the advantage of the Germans having this hedge, they can, as you can see, then they can fire upon the British. So I think this edge will be somehow important. Also, the limit of the British in Plumetot is, as you can see here, a little bit around Plumetot, and so this is what they can do. I mean, it will be an interesting issue to see how does this long corridor of edges work. I think there will be some the key to the success of both sides will be around also this long edge. Let's see how I can do with both of the opponents. So the British, I placed here a Vickers machine gun, and also one company of infantry here, supported also by a Piat, and also a 2-inch mortar. There are reserve, so I have, one company, 2 companies up, and 1 company, 2 companies down. And also I have a 6-pounder here in reserve if the Germans manage somehow to pierce that line of hedges. And around the Cresseron, I placed the British well inside. There's a company here. There's another company here. And my idea is to, as this will be the weakest spot of the German attack, of course, because they will come from along this road in relatively open terrain. I mean, some will try to take advantage of the cover, I hope, of this hedge. But we'll, of course, have to face some intense fire, especially from this group here. So the British can move forward into this area and then shoot upon the Germans that will advance here. My idea is, in terms of the British, as I told you, is to move this force more to this edge, and then try also to withstand. I mean, to keep the center alive with all this force, of course. But what I also want to do is to make an infantry attack like this, because the Germans aren't very strong here, and I think we can, if I can keep the Germans from entering into Cresseron, there will be, I think, more chances of the British victory, because this game only holds 12 rounds. This is in terms of strategics, if I can call it. I mean, then the Shermans are coming, and they will, of course, they will try to go wherever is necessary, wherever they will try to put down any fire. I mean, the Germans have a different, of course, different proposal. I will try to advance like this with the armored infantry. There are BMWs, there are pioneers, and of course mechanized infantry on the unique French conversions, and they will try to go like this. They will try to go around this edge, and they will try to enter into this position. Of course, this position is strongly defended, but I think it is mostly their only way to enter into Plumetot over there. I will try to keep as much as possible my artillery a little bit far, because there are Sherman and 6-pounders, of course. So I'll try to keep this group here. I mean, I'll try to keep it here in order for them to shoot against, to fire against those British positions over there. Here, the Germans, this larger group, will try to take advantage of some cover. They will benefit along the edge, and this group is somewhat, I mean, will be sacrificed, but at the same time they have some cover from the cornfield. Maybe at some point they will try to enter into the village, into this village, and try to gain, of course, one of the aims of the game. Of course, the game passes by controlling the villages and keeping, controlling the villages for the Germans, of course, trying to reach that corner over there, and 6 inches, if I'm not mistaken, from that edge over there, and obtain victory. Of course, the British mostly have to prevent the Germans from doing that. So this is it. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. And next one will be the game itself, but I'm not going to bother you with plenty of laps and turns. It will be only one to try to show you what happened. And also some pictures of the thing to see if I was doing things correctly. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.